Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to the Seed of Life Television Global News Today. I'm David Robinson, and with me in the studio is Grace Allenson. Grace, how are you? And happy Independence Day.
Thank you, David. How are you too? Happy Independence Day, Nigeria. I'm Grace Allenson, your co-news anchor. We bring you the top stories shaping our nation and the world this morning. First, the main headline. The federal government has declared October 1st a public holiday to celebrate Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. Many Nigerians expressed disappointment, but officials assured the celebrations would not lose their meaning. The federal government aligned its activities in the independence celebrations with the theme, Nigeria at 65, All Hands on Deck for a Greater Nation, emphasizing unity, collaboration, and the renewed hope agenda for socio-economic transformation. The Alumni Association of the National Institute called for greater unity and security across the nation, praising security agencies and urging collaborative efforts to overcome security challenges for lasting peace and development. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has set a deadline for Hamas to accept a ceasefire plan in Gaza, which includes hostages release and disarmament. The plan has received mixed reactions from world leaders and Palestinian groups. In the Gaza region, a large international aid flotilla, consisting of over 50 ships from at least 44 nations, is attempting to break through Israel's maritime blockade to deliver humanitarian aid. Israel plans to take control of the flotilla using naval forces, with reports that some vessels may be sunk at sea. This situation has prompted global debate about international maritime law and the rights to freedom of navigation and humanitarian aid delivery.
The federal government has declared October 1st a public holiday to celebrate Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. The Minister of the Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, officially announced the public holiday to commemorate this historic milestone. He extended congratulations to the entire Nigerian populace for reaching this significant national milestone and took the opportunity to encourage all Nigerians to renew their commitment to the values of patriotism, national unity, and resilience. The minister emphasized the importance of continued faith in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which seeks to revitalize the nation's economy, promote social cohesion, and inspire collective progress across all sectors. According to the government, the celebration of 65 years of independence is not just a commemoration of the past, but a call to all Nigerians to join hands for a brighter, more prosperous future. Dr. Tunji-Ojo also highlighted the government's confidence that, with the cooperation of citizens and security agencies, Nigeria would maintain peace and security, which are foundational to sustainable development and national growth. Although the Grand Independence Day Parade was canceled this year, the government reassured that other dignified celebrations and programs were organized to honor the day with the gravity it deserves, fostering a spirit of national pride and unity. The declaration underlines the symbolic and practical significance of the day as a unifying occasion for Nigerians to reflect on their shared history, celebrate achievements, and renew aspirations for a stronger nation.
Still on the National Day. The traditional Independence Day Parade has been canceled this year, but the significance of the anniversary remains strong, with scheduled events and celebrations proceeding with dignity and enthusiasm. Many Nigerians expressed disappointment, but officials assured the celebrations would not lose their meaning. The federal government of Nigeria announced the cancellation of the Independence Day Parade, scheduled for October 1st, 2025, the nation's 65th independence anniversary. The cancellation was confirmed in statements from the Director of Information and Public Relations, Segunamo Hiosin, and other official government sources. The government stressed that this decision should not be misunderstood as undermining the significance of this milestone anniversary. Other planned programs and events to commemorate the day will proceed as scheduled with dignity and enthusiasm. The cancellation decision, was not accompanied by an official reason, but it was noted to have been made with careful consideration, acknowledging the disappointment it might cause to those who anticipated the parade. The traditional parade, usually held at Eagle Square in Abuja, is a key feature of Nigeria's Independence Day celebrations, showcasing military hardware, cultural performances, and patriotic displays. This year, however, gatherings for the parade are restricted. The government called for continued support for President Bola Tinubu's policies and reforms aimed at building a greater nation. Several state governments, including Rivers State, aligned with the federal decision, also canceling their local Independence Day parades and expressing regret for any inconvenience these cancellations might cause. Citizens and observers were reminded that the essence of Independence Day, that is, celebrating freedom and national unity, remains unchanged regardless of the absence of the parade.
As part of contributions towards making sense out of the National Day celebration, various forums and public discussions on rebuilding Nigeria and strengthening its economy are taking place, featuring prominent speakers like Her Excellency Atifete Jaga and former national football captain Segun Odegbami. Topics address governance, economic reform, and national unity. Several economic forums and events have taken place as part of the 65th Independence Anniversary activities, focusing on themes such as supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises, and unlocking their financing potential as a key road to Nigeria's economic growth. Notable speakers and panelists featured in these forums include industry leaders from banking, fintech, development finance, and government policymakers. Mr. Qpayemi Agbaje, chairman of PENCOM and founder of RTC Advisory Services. Mrs. Chizoma Okoli, deputy managing director at Access Bank Group. Mr. Bonaventure Okaimo, CEO of the National Credit Guarantee Company. Dr. Stanley Jacob, president of the FinTech Association of Nigeria. Other key figures from telecommunications, stock exchange, and financial services. These events aim to foster innovative policies, partnerships, and actionable strategies that empower micro, small, and medium enterprises, bridging the financing gap to boost Nigeria's economy toward its $1 trillion target. Furthermore, the federal government aligned its activities in the independence celebrations with the theme Nigeria at 65, all hands on deck for a greater nation, emphasizing unity, collaboration, and the renewed hope agenda for socio-economic transformation. The forums serve as platforms to encourage all sectors to contribute actively to Nigeria's ongoing development, economic reforms, and national rebirth.
On national security, the Alumni Association of the National Institute called for greater unity and security across the nation, praising security agencies and urging collaborative efforts to overcome security challenges for lasting peace and development. Several government officials and governors have highlighted security as a paramount issue requiring collective effort from all Nigerians. Katsina State Governor Malam Dikko Umaru Rada called for citizens to partner with security agencies by reporting suspicious activities and supporting efforts to maintain peace. He emphasized that security is everyone's business, regardless of ethnic or religious affiliation, and assured his administration's commitment to protecting lives and property. The governor praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for prioritizing security and economic reforms aimed at national development. He described the 65th anniversary as an opportunity to renew dedication to justice, peace, and progress envisioned by Nigeria's founding fathers. Experts suggest the cancellation of the traditional Independence Day parade may relate to prevailing security concerns, although the government did not explicitly confirm this. Citizens and analysts acknowledge ongoing challenges, but urged unity and vigilance to overcome insecurity through collaboration between government, security forces, and communities. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar also commended Nigerians for their resilience amid socioeconomic and security challenges and encouraged hope and unity. Political parties and citizens exchanged mixed reactions around celebrations, with many calling for the government to fully guarantee security and welfare for Nigerians as a constitutional duty. Overall, national leadership reflects a strong awareness of security challenges, but also optimism that with collective responsibility and cooperation, peace and prosperity can be achieved.
On the state news, Lagos State is celebrating Nigeria's 65th Independence Day with a lively and diverse array of events, catering especially to the youth and cultural enthusiasts. Key highlights of the celebrations include Independence Day brunch at Good Life Restaurant, Victoria Island, starting at 12 p.m. with a buffet, cocktails, and live music to kick off the festivities in a relaxed, communal atmosphere. Independence Day Groove at Local, Victoria Island, scheduled for October 4, featuring Lagos's top DJs and artists in a vibrant cultural party setting. Interactive theater production, The Next President at the Garden, Ikoyi, on October 1st, offering comedic and engaging political-themed entertainment. Even in the Day Independence special at Voda Beach Club on October 4th, a daytime rave with DJs and patriotic vibes. Independence Day Festival at University of Lagos Sports Complex with free entry and performances by popular artists like TML Vibes, T.I. Blaze, and Mavo, alongside music by Rexy and DJ Latitude. Other notable celebration events around Lagos include the Afro Gala 2025 and cultural weekends highlighting Nigerian music, fashion, and food. These events reflect Lagos as a vibrant cultural hub, turning Independence Day into a meaningful celebration of national pride, unity, and future possibilities. Lagos State will continue to emphasize cultural expressions and youth engagement as pivotal to commemorating Nigeria's growth and achievements since independence.
Still on state news, Oyo State today, October 1st, 2025, is actively commemorating Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary with a range of cultural and patriotic events. The state government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sport, continues the tradition of community engagement and celebration with activities such as cultural games, Ayo Olopon, independence walks, religious services including Jumat prayers and Thanksgiving services, and public displays like marching and female football matches. Chief Dr. Kazim Adesina Abidikugu, a prominent figure and Agba Akin Bobajiro of Ibadanland, felicitated Nigerians on the occasion, highlighting the country's peaceful coexistence despite various challenges, and called for prayers and efforts toward economic recovery and unity. These celebrations reflect Oyo State's commitment to fostering patriotism, peace, and collective hope for a prosperous future amidst the nation's broader theme for the 65th anniversary. Nigeria at 65, all hands on deck for a greater nation.
Welcome back. Still on the state news, the Rivers State government has canceled the planned Independence Day parade scheduled for today at Sharks Stadium in Port Harcourt. This decision aligns with a federal government directive, and the state government has expressed regret for any inconvenience caused by the cancellation. Ahead of October 1st, hundreds of youths gathered in Port Harcourt to mobilize against planned protests associated with the October 1 protest movement. Security forces were deployed to maintain law and order, and some arrests were reported. In a related security announcement, the Rivers State Police Command warned the public against participating in protests that could disrupt peace and deployed officers to strategic locations to prevent any breakdown of law and order. There was also a political development in the region where the People's Democratic Party, PDP, dissolved its leadership structures in neighboring states Akwa Ibom and Cross River, but this affects the broader South-South region rather than Rivers State directly. Additionally, there is a report about the Alliance for Democratic Change, ADC, strongly opposing the sacking of over 300 workers by a local government chair in Rivers State. These points capture the major current events and issues in Rivers State as of today.
From Kano State, the planned October 1st, 2025, protest organized by the Nigerian Patriotic Front Movement, NPFM, in Kano did not take place due to security crackdowns by the police. Ahead of the protest, 5 key leaders of the movement were arrested in Kano and reportedly taken to Abuja under instructions from the National Security Advisor. The arrested leaders included Comrade Abdul Majid Daudu and others, whose whereabouts remained unknown for some time following their detention. The protest was intended as a nationwide National Survival Day demonstration focused on addressing issues like the high cost of living, fuel prices, food inflation, bad governance, grand corruption, insecurity, and calls for the renationalization of key public utilities like NNPC and electricity distribution companies. Despite the planned protest, Kano remained calm, with residents going about their daily activities, and many businesses and markets opted to stay closed due to the tense atmosphere. The police had made extensive preparations to prevent the protest and maintained a heavy security presence. The NPFM leaders had earlier announced the protest through a press conference and vowed peaceful action, but the government's security response effectively aborted the protest in Kano. The situation also raised concerns about political repression and the treatment of peaceful protest organizers in Nigeria. These developments underscore the tense political and security environment in Kano surrounding the October 1st protest. Now we quickly go on a short commercial break, and when we are back, we move straight to the foreign news. We plead with our viewers who have not subscribed to this channel to please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell to be updated with up-to-date global news from this channel. Thank you.
Welcome back from that short break. On the foreign scene, the U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a firm deadline of 3 to 4 days for Hamas to accept a U.S.-backed 20-point peace plan aimed at ending the 2-year conflict in Gaza. The plan, unveiled alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, calls for an immediate ceasefire, the release of all hostages held by Hamas in exchange for Palestinian prisoners in Israel, a phased Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, disarmament of Hamas, and the establishment of a transitional government overseen by an international panel, including former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Trump warned that if Hamas rejects the plan, Israel would have the U.S.'s full backing to take further military action, with the potential for a very sad end. He emphasized that Israeli and Arab leaders, including Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, have already endorsed the proposal and are urging Hamas to accept it. Hamas, however, was not involved in the initial negotiations and has expressed skepticism. Officials aligned with Hamas have said the proposal is biased in favor of Israel and imposes unreasonable conditions aimed at dismantling the group. Hamas has insisted on self-determination for the Palestinian people and a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza as critical conditions for any agreement. The plan has received mixed reactions globally. While several Arab and Muslim countries have expressed support and hope for its success, many Palestinians remain doubtful about whether the plan can genuinely end Israel's control over Gaza or improve their conditions. Some fear that acceptance could mean the effective end of Hamas as a political and military force. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has backed the plan, warning Hamas that he will finish the job if the group refuses the proposal. The situation remains tense as Hamas reviews the proposal, with the deadline approaching and major international mediators closely watching developments.
In the Middle East, the International Aid Flotilla, known as the Global Sumud Flotilla, is currently sailing towards Gaza with over 50 vessels and around 500 activists from at least 44 countries aboard. It aims to break Israel's 18-year maritime blockade of the Gaza Strip and deliver symbolic humanitarian aid such as food and medicine to Palestinians suffering from a severe humanitarian crisis worsened by the ongoing conflict. The flotilla has faced significant challenges and confrontations at sea. Israeli naval forces, including warships and commandos, are preparing to intercept the flotilla, with reports indicating plans to take control of the vessels and potentially sink some ships to prevent them from reaching Gaza. Hundreds of activists aboard the flotilla are expected to be arrested, interrogated, and deported via the Israeli port of Ashdod. Israel maintains its blockade is necessary to prevent Hamas from importing weapons, accusing some flotilla members of ties to Hamas, an accusation denied by the activists. Internationally, countries like Spain and Italy initially sent Navy ships to escort the flotilla part of the way, but later urged activists not to confront the Israeli blockade to avoid escalation. Italy has offered an alternative to deliver aid via Cyprus with the Catholic Church, but the flotilla organizers rejected this as sabotage of their mission. The flotilla organizers are determined to continue their voyage despite warnings and have condemned Israel's attempts to jam their communications and disrupt their progress. The debate over the legality of Israel's blockade is ongoing. International maritime law generally grants coastal states control up to 12 nautical miles offshore, but Israel asserts its blockade is a lawful measure of armed conflict, while critics argue it amounts to collective punishment against Gaza's civilian population. The flotilla is approaching a critical zone near Gaza's coast and a confrontation with Israeli naval forces.
This is how far time can permit us on this segment. Stay with us as we bring you daily global news from this channel. Thank you for watching the Seed of Life Global News Hour. Please subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Like, share, and comment on the videos. Be reminded that our transmission continues by 7 p.m. West African time today. Before then, our other programs will be rolled out on our social media platforms. Therefore, please follow us. Have a great day.